you teach someone the fish, so they can continue to have fish forever.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of just taking them to a fancy restaurant for one meal. It might be better to buy them a fishing pole and some bait and stuff.
Yeah. But in any event, so I'm saying that to deny the virus and to say it's a setup, which it sort of looks like, sort of really does.
It doesn't. Well, I heard that anyone who dies, you say it was to the virus.
Yeah,
So they're inflating the
death
numbers.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there was this thing last night, like 635 people died in this one hospital in New York. And the undercover street warriors went there and there was no one there. I mean, you don't even have enough people to have that many people dying, let alone. And if that was true, I certainly wouldn't go to that hospital, if they're having like 100% death. Sounds more like the Black Plague there. But we don't know. We don't know what's really going on. They're saying that there's a new structure. There's a planetary fight going on for power. And some say there's an asteroid coming and they're working on keeping us used to this, which has been gradient. It was very light, the first week, and then it got heavier, and then more states and more countries. And now it's like, how much stricter is it going to get? But the grocery stores have enough stuff. There doesn't seem to be a problem.
That's right. And
yeah.
But I would to create this kind of an effect. I think if you bombed the country, even if you blew up an atom bomb, it wouldn't stop the whole country. And this has stopped the whole country. It's like weird, and just out of fear, because it's not like a real zombie apocalypse or like you're gonna, you got a 30% chance of dying. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not like or everybody's blind, so we're all like trying to. What can you do? You're blind. You can't even get to the.
That would be hard. That would be really hard.
That's right.
But even if it's 5G and radiation sickness, that doesn't protect us by being in our house. The satellites are still there.
That's right. The 5G thing. I've been getting emails about that too. And the funny thing is, so I talked to somebody about it, and if they have she had a family member who's working in a hospital, and she says, this is real. My daughter's working there. She says it's terrible. And I'm hearing these stories. I'm hearing them third or second hand, and people. I don't know anybody. Oh, I do. One of my tenants has it, or she thinks she has it. She's ill, and she's 30, so she'll get through.
They have it, and they have the common cold.
Could be.
And I hear people hearing something by second hand, but look up the number of people who die of the flu every year, like 60,000, right? So we're not kept in for the common flu or what is that, cardiac problems, which is higher. It's like 1.3 million.
Oh, yeah. Comparing it to other deaths. And the media, especially the unfriendly media like NBC, MSNBC and CNN, they keep pushing tragedy and terrible. You hear in their voice, 1,000 people. You could say 1,000 people. They say 1,000 people. They keep pushing.
On the rise, soaring numbers.
Right.
Right.
And there's no numbers to back it up. There's like, how many people died in California? 436 or something. It's like, what? That's nothing. That's like people getting hit in a crosswalk or choking on a chicken bone. It's nothing. So even if they're getting it, even if everything is correct, the scale is exaggerated. The scale is being exaggerated. And then they came out with this thing about 6 feet isn't enough.
Oh, come on. I know I have seen graphs of like if all the people of Earth stood straight up, they wouldn't cover California, right? That there's really actually plenty of room. But when we have been all forced to leave the farm and live in the city to make a living because our way of earning money has changed, there's not much we can do as far as distancing.
Yeah,
And
well,
we've been fine all this time.
yeah, I but I actually think it's going to, well, I can't predict. If it's a malicious political thing, it's going to drag out very long and painful. And they're going to
I think so too.
increase the martial aspect of it, the police, like you're saying, stopping somebody for more than one person in a car. That's fucking insane. It's just insane.
Right.
You
Now,
know,
if you heard there was going to actually be actual martial law, how do you feel about that?
no, personally, I'm not fighting any battles. I'm not like, I mean, I've done that. I spent like 2 or 3 years on 9/11, and it's like, I didn't get anywhere. It's like, I'm not. It's not that I'm going to compromise my reality or something, but unless I can do something effective, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you can do something effective. Grace did some effective things about the church she was going to, where she found some information that she published that was very embarrassing. So, and it hit the news and it was a big splash. So, is that you?
Yeah, remember I live near the train tracks.
Oh, that's nice. That's kind of charming.
No, well, I don't mind the train because when I was a kid, and my grandparents had country homes, I always liked the idea of hobo stories where they would jump on the train with their little backpack and see the world. And I really admire that energy to be able to just not have anything and hitchhike or jump on a train and go see things.
Yeah, I actually did that when I was in, at sometime, I'm pretty sure it was in college, like between the freshman and sophomore year or somewhere. Because I went twice. Don't recall that well, but we took a freight because the hitchhiking was too slow. So we were able to go over a freight yard, and it's sort of like if you're a novice, it's like, which way is this train going? Where's it going? You know where the train's going. You just jump in a car. You don't know where it's going.
Right. And
Yeah.
it turned out okay, right?
Well, yeah, we were going. I'm trying to remember if we took it on the way. We were on our way to Mexico, from New York to Mexico, and
Wow.
it got us closer, and we got down there. We made it eventually, so it was good. It's great. Oh no, there's no substitute for the unpredictable events and the happenstance or serendipity is what they call it. It's like, wow, I was just hitchhiking on this guy. We met this guy and that happened and this happened and so forth. Great adventures, sometimes threatening, but yeah, so we took the freights. It's pretty good. No problems, no big story, but just took the freights. Because of that, the American tradition. Well, it's like on a bucket list. I got to at least ride a freight train
Right.
once.
Right. Yeah.
Hitchhike across the country. Of course, got to do that.
Instead of we get into this thing of I can't get my nails done. There's all these pictures being posted about women's eyebrows growing in and the things that they can't go to the salon to get their waxing, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, we are spoiled in a lot of ways.
Yeah, so I don't have currently. I don't have the what I would call the inflated ego to think that I could do something that would be effective in changing the world. I would like to do something effective in changing life around me. I think, I've been involved in other things and so forth. And people will neglect their immediate environment because they're working on some cause. And sometimes that cause is like futile or even contra is creating a problem that it's trying to solve or something. Like too much welfare or something. So, but you could help friends and neighbors, and that's functional. I know there's a woman who takes disadvantaged kids from LA and brings them to like Joshua Tree, brings them to a state park. I said, Jesus Christ, she's really doing something good. She also does this thing where she gets people who go trekking around the world. They go to Himalayas or something. So she gets them to to take medicines to the third world populations that don't have those medicines. She gets like donated medicines from pharmaceutical companies and
Hmm.
gets these hikers or trekkers to bring them to little villages. So, but she's doing that. And the thing about it is, what I'm saying is, a lot of activists, but the activists are usually talking about some Marxist ideology bullshit. But this is a person who does stuff, you know,
Right.
makes it happen
Right.
in
And
the street.
forget all the charities, all of them. I don't hardly support any. I don't know if
Right.
there's one I would, right?
Yeah.
Because they haven't done it.
Yeah. They
They
don't
have
do
had
anything. They don't do
billions of dollars and they haven't done it. Do it yourself. Get the money, hire your own people,
Yeah.
be responsible for what's happening with that money. I mean, part of it is our tax structure in the 501c3s, where it's more like a funneling of profits instead of an actual, you know, designated thing. I mean, we won't talk about anyone specifically, but controlling the world population has not had a good history behind it.
Yeah. Same old thing. So I don't. So I'm not. I wouldn't fight. I don't think if it goes, militia, there'll be people protesting it. There'll be guns and stuff. There'll be. I don't think. I don't know. I can't imagine it going that bad or that long. It's gonna. There's gonna
Well,
be.
then you want to join with other militia. You wouldn't want to be alone if it went that way. But I never wanted to join those groups, because I thought it would target me.
Yeah.
Like in California, you wouldn't want to have a green card. That's for like marijuana because then you're not allowed to have a gun because they said it shows some kind of mental instability.
Oh,
I'd
I didn't
be
know that.
I'd
Yeah.
prefer being able to own a gun than to have marijuana. Although I can't have any drugs because they just like do something to me too fast. I never
Oh,
even took aspirins when I was a kid. If I had something like a headache, I would hold them in my hand for a couple of minutes, but that's all I could do.
oh. Are you from the local vicinity, or are you from another sector of the galaxy? What?
I'm from another sector of the galaxy. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I see.
So,
You're
yeah.
not part of the regular crew here. All those.
No.
Okay. Do you think most people are from other sectors of the galaxy on this planet, or do you think that some people are like been here longer on the Earth?
Um, there's been souls that have been here a long time, right? We're kind of like talking about, and how long has the planet been here? A million years or something longer? That's you've been able to inhabit it, not 2,000.
Oh, no, 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 no. They say that the planet supposedly
Right?
been.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like there's a long existence and we are a small place in the whole scheme of things. And there's galaxies and galaxies and solar systems within them. I think we will be learning more within the next couple years of the truth of our existence. But some of it isn't going to be good. People's not going to like it. It's going to shock them.
Really? You think? Yeah.
Well, um, some people see things, right? Like you might get a glimpse of something, you think it's a ghost or something. Some people talk about fairies or gnomes or leprechauns. What happened if we could see everything all the time? That would be kind of hard because we are so sheltered in this reality that we consider.
Okay. That's correct. Yeah, I agree with you. That's right. At least initially, but people get so used to things that they just take it in their stride. And if they saw the devil standing on the line at the supermarket, first couple of times, but after a while, that.
And the
They'll,
fact
they'll,
is,
they'll get to a point where they'll could say, excuse me, I was ahead of you. You know, they'll just take it
yes,
in stride.
I think you're right. Because the idea is they don't have the same material that we have, right? So in this world, we are actually the stronger ones. They can just like scare and threaten or, you know, mess with your mind. But time to meditate and just know that you're okay no matter what happens.
Hmm. Could you help somebody if they were, well, let me just, I don't want to beat around the bush. Let's say somebody's like a psycho. They're hearing voices and they're just, you know, obsessively concerned about something that everybody else considers not consequential. And, you know, these are typical forms of insanity. Like, do you realize what you're breathing? Every breath you're taking a chance of breathing in, blah, 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 something, you know. So people get obsessed about maybe a very trivial threat, like the way people are now obsessed about avoiding this virus, which is, you know, maybe there's a risk there, maybe it's
And as I walk around without a mask, they look at me like I'm the
crazy.
one who's nuts,
Yeah,
right? I'm the virus denier.
that's right. You're a virus denier. You're lower than a climate denier. I mean, it's like, you know, we're really not with the program. So I don't even want to do that. I'm like, I don't want to upset people. That's like, I don't, um, if well, I don't care, you know, I don't care whether we put this out or not.
I have always been interested, you know, in people who are really spiritual and can see things. But if they got there off of drugs, then they're psycho, right? They are not in control of it, right? If they got there through meditation by natural means, it's a different thing. They actually have the ability to handle it.
Okay,
So
so
it
you,
depends on what happens to you, what you're experiencing. If it's natural, that's something you're actually being shown that you might be ready to handle. But if you do it by means of drugs, that's a very sad way to go.
so you're saying if somebody is spinning out because they're as an effect of psychotropic drugs, LSD, or even yeah, it was the most popular drug.
See, I don't even know what the drugs are. I
Okay,
mean,
over the counter,
you
you know,
know,
prescription mood elevators, anything. You're saying if it's an
right,
artificial inducing of an unstable mental condition, that you're not going to handle that. They have to handle
right.
that by physiologically getting rid of the drug and reestablishing your normal nutrition and everything. They got to get healthy.
Right,
But
right.
if it's something where,
And read about it and study about it. So, you know, it's not surprising when those abilities come. And I think there is going to be a shift in the planets in which we will be able to experience a lot more than what we're experiencing. Like you have abilities, you know. I know. Even telepathy, I mean, I tell people I'm not a mind reader. So no one has to get nervous about me being able to read their mind. But I am intuitive, you know. I can tell when there's things going on and have a thought of what it is.
so,
But people have to be willing to have it.
so you think, do you think, well, there's two things. Could you, and are you interested in, let's say, being of assistance to people who are spitting out? I'm just using colloquial terms when I'm not trying to put on a pretense of it. You know, people that feel very unstable and freaking out. And like you say, it's not because they're drug addicts, but it's because of life.
If they're doing it with drugs, no, I
No,
wouldn't work
I
with
know
them
that.
at all. If they're doing it without drugs, that their awakening is happening, they absolutely should find someone like that grandmother we all should have that tells us what's going on and not to worry about it and be okay. Like all the shamans, the Indian chiefs, they used to know about these things.
Yeah,
It's a twilight zone that we don't.
right. Do you feel uh, accomplished enough or like capable enough to be one of those guides?
No, but I would, talk with anyone who wanted to talk to me if I was that person that they wanted to talk to and tell me what they were experiencing.
Okay, that's
And
good.
you?
Oh, me?
I think you could handle anything.
Yeah. I've handled a lot of people like that. I don't know, but I have to be honest. I have fallen into the let's say degraded thing of walking away from people that are too stuck in some kind of a philosophy. When you talk with them and they go like, and they're just oh like a person that we both call Motor Mouth. He's got that's it. It's over. I know it's this is it. Everything goes like this. It goes
Hey,
like that.
hey, be careful. Don't say anything else. He might watch our channel,
Well, I'm just
right?
saying that's the phrase we have.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, okay, it's already been determined. It's that old story about the monk who says, uh, he puts out a glass. He says, put a glass of water there, and he starts to fill it up, and he keeps filling it up, and then the water starts spilling over the top. And he says, why are you doing that? He says, I'm just trying to show you that's your problem. You're already full to the top. There's no way you can't get anything from here because you already know everything. So
Right.
when I haven't really found an effective way to deal with that, let's say on a conversational level. I mean, I'm sure I could come
I
up with
haven't either,
processes, but you know what I'm
and it's
talking
like, I definitely, this channel, we're not going to get into politics or religion,
about. Right.
right? But there's two things of where I might have my questions, right? But that's not for the other side to slam me if I share those questions that I have, right? Those weak spots that I hope I'm right about. In the end, we might all find out. But you have to be with someone, like you say, that's not a fixed idea, that you can share those ideas, you know? Like, how do you feel about this? I mean, have it be anything. I mean, who knows? Our whole government might just be corrupt.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a given. I mean, it's like trying to find an honest man in the government is difficult, or trying to find. Can you tell me a time? I don't know about your life personally, but I uh, only had a few times in my life when I was put to the test, and that was really a good thing because you put to the test. Yes or no? Are you gonna? Where are you gonna go? Are you gonna tell me that the wall is blue? I want you to say the wall is blue. If you don't say the wall is blue, everything ends. I know. I don't even care what color you think it is. I want you to say the wall is blue. And there's tremendous consequences if you don't comply. If you don't compromise your integrity and compromise your reality. So it's really a great opportunity when you have that option of being put to the test and say, "Hey, wall's not blue." That's right. The wall's not blue. And it's only a few times that that's happened. Really, I'd say. But contending in life, I mean, it's life tends to get you to back off and say, "Oh no, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. That's not really what I meant." That kind of a thing. Or like, "Oh well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to insult you." That kind of a thing. Or maybe you're right. Because you and I both know that the way to handle any dispute, is to say, "You're right. I was wrong." Whatever it is.
Whatever it is. But like, I would say, when I first went to college at
Yeah.
RIT, Rochester,
Oh,
I went for social work and psychology.
oh,
And after only one semester, I found out after 8 years of school, all you do is fill out forms and evaluate the person in front of you. You don't really help anyone. It's a shuffling of paperwork and, you know, labeling. So I dropped out. It's like, no, no.
after you
You
got
just got
your
to do,
degree.
Huh?
After you spent 8 years? No.
I dropped out in one semester, but
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay. You
yeah,
could see where it was going. Yeah, yeah,
right, right. Unless you
yeah,
start your own practice, but you have certain guidelines. And if you look at people who go to even a good psychologist, right? They have been going for years. I mean, I feel the same way about the foot doctor or the chiropractor. Handle whatever is going on that the person needs some help with and let them go on their way. Don't have them be a patient for life.
right. So you said that was a point in time where you made a self-determined decision. You feel very good about it, and it was there. And there was temptation on the one side, a promise of
Right,
success and
right.
recognition, and then you
I
go
mean,
the
I
other
was
way.
in a good school. I would have got a good degree.
Yeah,
I would have got a good job. I would have been set, right?
yeah.
But I decided to just leave it, you know? And then when I came to California, I worked one corporation. People wouldn't even tell you how to put paper in the copier. And I just didn't like the whole format. And I never had another job since then.
Okay, it's true. It's true. That's it's working in corporations. And people say they're prejudiced and this and that. I say, yeah, they are, but just towards a corporate culture. In other words, if you can behave like a corporate person, it doesn't. Nothing else matters. But you have to fit into that mold. You have to tell jokes where people chuckle. There no
Oh,
backstep,
yeah.
nothing really hysterical. You have to make sure that if you do spill the coffee, you clean it up meticulously. You always keep your nails clean, and it's just there's certain social characteristics. You don't
If you're
raise your
not
voice.
busy or someone else isn't busy, you don't say anything. You just
That,
look busy when the executives come in.
yeah, and so forth. Things like that, and oh, the whole corporate thing with birthdays. Now, some TV shows and comics have made a lot of fun of it, and it's correct. It is the way that the Dilbert world, they call it. The corporate word is like that, and there's a tremendous amount in the corporate world of like, don't overachieve because you make everybody else look bad. So
Yes,
that kind of
yes, absolutely. And if someone said they're the one who accomplished it, you just shake your head and say, well done, even
there
if it
you go.
was you.
That's right. And you rise to your level of incompetence and so forth. And
Yes.
so forth. And I had a friend from Bulgaria, and he would say, "Oh, I've seen this before. They just put these idiots up there to let us know that we're prisoners." Your boss is always stupid.
Yes, yes, yes. And then everybody spends exactly what they're making and a little bit more, no
Yeah,
matter
yeah.
what your income level is.
I know that's why I was working when I got out of college. I was working for IBM, and before I had any real spiritual orientation, I was investigating various religious avenues. Just
I
that's
checked out
what
a
I think.
few.
Try it out,
Yeah.
check this out, try this, try that. And but I could see at work, I'd say like, well, here's one guy, he's spending all his money on his, $1,800 alligator shoes or whatever, and his
Yeah.
gorgeous suit and everything. And here's another guy that happened to be like a religious Orthodox Jewish guy, programmers, right? And I said, what's he spending his on? Well, he's got 7 kids. They're stretched right out to the limit. So they're encapsulated. They can't move anywhere. You can't do it. It's all programmed, and that's it. And you're going to do this, 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 and this. I said, this is futile. This is silly. What's the point of that? You're not going anywhere. You're just spinning your wheels, staying in place. Like you say, they spend as much or more than you make. I
Yes.
didn't, occasionally meet someone who's on the other side, says, I don't pay for anything. I'm just saving my money up so I can quit. You'll meet people like that. And you also meet people, depending upon the field you're in, who are strongly motivated in that area, maybe in the arts but also in medicine or even science or architecture. They're doing something for a higher level of motivation and aesthetic You do see that sometimes in the workplace. You run into those people occasionally.
Yeah.
They're doing it because they're motivated.
Well, what's your closing words for our audience today to
Oh,
keep
that's
their
right.
spirits up?
Well, try not to be. I think the best thing is keep on trucking. That's a phrase from the '60s. Just
And
keep
I
on
say,
trucking.
like, shut down the news,
Shut
right?
down the
Read
news.
a book, you
Yeah,
know, do what you can do to keep yourself physically active and the circulation going, but shut off the news. It is not helping at all.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yes. It's
Well,
great
you
talking
ready
with you.
to end off for today?
Yes, yes, I am. I did very good. But I'm looking forward to the next time.
Excellent. Well, I enjoyed being with you.
Okay. All right. Goodbye, Christine.
Goodbye.